Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about knowing which playbook is being used. You know what I'm saying? Know which playbook you're using, know which playbook the people around you are also using and communicating with. You know what I'm saying? So what brings me to this subject today, as y'all already know, it's a spiritual war going on. We gotta be war ready at all times. So in order to say something is good, you have to know that there is an opposite, a bad. In order to say something is positive, there has to be a negative. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some people do good bad, some people do good evil. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel as if all things that are bad are evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could crash my car, that could be a bad thing, but that doesn't mean that's evil. You know what I'm saying? So the evil usually gets attached on due to the intentions. You know what I mean? So when we out here and we're communicating, engaging with beings, we want to know which playbook they're using. You know, you want to know where they're coming from. You want to be able to understand their perspectives. But the thing is, when you're in the Western world, you have to break it down. You really have to break it down. You have to understand that it's a bunch of cultures slapped all together. You know what I'm saying? So that's like putting a polar bear, a black bear, and a brown bear, and a grizzly bear, and whatever color bear you can find or think of, or spiritual bear you can find and think of. Put them all in together and expect them all to eat, live, and vibrate exactly the same. And have the same belief systems. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not going to happen. They can use the same playbook, but the way they are led will be different because of the way their genetic makeup build is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to understand when we're all out here engaging and operating. It's like when you are talking and dealing with people and they say things and leave you confused, or it comes out really confusing and they are not trying to clarify or bring any clarity to it, or they hit you with the never mind, or I don't want to say it, or it doesn't matter, or you don't care. You know, all these little backlash, whiplashes that come your way. You know what I'm saying? When you communicate outwardly, you have to understand that our team, the creator, the greater good, we don't process that way. So we would not be responding that way. So when people engage and respond that way, you have to understand what playbook they're using and why they're responding that way. Once you start breaking these things down into playbooks, right? To me, I say playbooks, right? Because when you look at it as playbooks in this generation, the generations before already was spiritual beings. So we all are. They understood more, all right? So, but they knew that it was principles, morals, and values. These three things, right? So if principles, morals, and values are the heart and the key to things, a lot of people use these words and don't even know what the fuck it means, or how to gain that substance within. You know what I'm saying? So in order to make it more clear and easier for this generation, I just say it's two playbooks. You know what I'm saying? It's two playbooks. You got the greater good, the creator, the organic universal flow of things right here, this playbook. And then you also have this playbook over here, which is going to be very witchy, confusing, chaotic. It's always going to stir you in some weird space. It's always going to have people thinking that, oh, okay, well, I know I would snake them in this situation, so I could only assume that they would snake me as well. You know what I'm saying? That shit is coming from an evil entity that's already like not with the shits already. You know what I'm saying? Not with the greater good. They're here to oppose. You know what I'm saying? So just understanding these things, like, they are huge. Like, I had an associate of mine ended up in the hospital, and he checked himself in, you know what I'm saying, due to the fact that, like, he had a witch he was living with. Simple process. Nigga BM was a witch. That was his youngest child's mother. You know what I'm saying? He was still with her. Man, my peoples, we done put working together, we done built together. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was one of the peoples that probably would be building. I probably would have him beside me if he didn't follow the 5%er flow, and also if he did not have another vessel controlling him the way that it was allowed to. And it was weird because we all know that, like, we hear it and see it, like we hear it all the time in the videos, like, oh yeah, the enemy is here to crash you out, they're here to destroy you, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna either crash you out or get you to crash yourself out. Well, this time they got my peoples to crash themselves out, you know what I'm saying, not understanding their playbook. So in his world, he wanted to either harm her or harm himself, you know what I'm saying, and to not do either or, he checked himself in, you know what I'm saying. So, you know, he reached out for the help and did it that way, which what works, you know what I'm saying. But we have a playbook over here that doesn't flow with the system, but it's more accurate in the energetic and spiritual information that you're gonna receive and that you're gonna feel more fulfilled with, you know what I'm saying. So if you don't know what principle, morals, and values are, look at the playbooks. Look at the playbooks. When a situation happened and somebody hit you with some, oh, well, I wouldn't have, let's make up a random ass situation, it don't matter. Say you was supposed to go to the store, you know what I'm saying, and you was waiting for somebody to get back. They came back and they never said anything to you about going to the store, you know what I'm saying. They kind of just got situated, sat their ass down, you know, maybe they took a shower, did a bunch of things. They just didn't even think about you, and in your mind you just thinking like, oh shit, well, I did have to run to the store real quick, why they ain't say nothing to me? It's because their playbook is different. See, for us, when we came inside and our peoples, and they had already asked us for a ride, we would have went ahead and addressed them first. Our team's playbook would have had us address them first. Hey, you still need that ride? Because I'm about to kick my shoes off and get situated. You know what I'm saying? That's on a smaller scale. But that's like one small example of how you know, like, fucking hair was stuck to my face. I saw that shit again in the last video, and I was like, I be so into the word and the knowledge, I just don't even pay attention. You know what I mean? But that's how you know which playbook is coming from. You have to know two teams. If you are a genuine organic being, you know what I'm saying, and you just out here kind of chameleoning in because you have to, you already know that you have the right playbook. You have the right playbook. So don't let these other witchy motherfuckers confuse you and put you in some kind of whirlwind because they got all these far out perspectives, or they can talk in circles enough times to have you confused and frustrated to the point where you're just like, fuck it, I don't even care to even know what's going on or what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, get into those spaces, and if you can prevent the confusion and keep the clarity within yourself, it's going to help you with the playbooks. That means you have to trust your knowledge and information, even if you don't trust everything that's happening out here in real lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That comes with having your faith, believing in the source, you know what I'm saying, like in the creation, the creator. So it's playbooks is, I was just talking about this with somebody else, and they were like, well, because for me, instead of being like, okay, you a demon, okay, you evil, like I could say that, but to me that's a punch, that's a knife, that's a bullet. So that shit I do spiritually when I really want to cut really hard. But if I'm trying to teach and I need people to receive the message easier, it's easier for me to just say, you know what I'm saying, the playbook where you're receiving your information at is guiding you to process things this way. Because if it wasn't, then this team over here would have fed you your information and you would have processed it this way. When you are communicating out with witches, warlords, sheep, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be in, like, keep in mind that a very high percentage of it is gonna be extremely defensive. You know what I'm saying? So they always feel like they are on, like, in survival mode, which you gotta think about it. They have a reason to. They got a witchy ass structure that they follow, so anytime their own leader or whatever you want to call it can dispose of them. So that makes sense. And we also process survival mode in the Western world because we're out here surviving in this world. You know what I mean? So it's like when we out here warring and battling, we have to understand that that's part of the tactics. That's part of us surviving as well too. So I know we try to make it seem like, oh, they're making decisions in survival mode. Some of our decisions we make are in survival mode as well too. You know what I'm saying? That's just looking at the situation equally. But processing the playbooks, you know what I'm saying? understand where the playbooks is coming from. That's going to help you know where they're receiving their information from. If you don't want to say, oh, they're demonic, they're evil, when you're communicating with them and they're rising you up, just be like, hey, oh, okay, you only processing things that way because of where you're receiving your information at. You have the unhealthy team feeding you this information, so you're gonna process and react and respond to me that way. You know what I'm saying? And usually them are the beings that's usually escalating the situations already anyways, you know what I'm saying? But just being mindful of the playbooks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.